Sounds sweet. Podcast 2, take Bravo, marker. Action.
So, Sergio, I see that our table is miraculously changed and transformed into something else. What are all the things that we have here? What's going on?
Well, I have some things for show and tell that I wanted to kind of talk about.
Like back when we was little kids, you know, show and tell.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll start with this. This is for the people at home. This is the Legend of Yasuki. I'm saying it wrong. Oh my God.
Yasuki.
I think
Sake's a drink.
I think it's I think it's really cool. The idea that there was a character, the actual black samurai. I mean, I actually found out about this probably about three or 4 years ago. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's like scrubbed from history. Horrible. Thank God that some people actually kept, the historical, they kept this stuff alive, through stories and things. So Netflix even has a show. They have a cartoon, and there's a bunch of stuff on YouTube. A lot of interesting documentaries about this guy, and it's really fascinating. So I went and got the first issue today. I'm gonna start reading the stuff tonight, and I love the artwork. I mean, it's like really, really cool. So
Let me ask you: that's an older comic?
no, this is recent. I think this just came out recently.
Oh, okay. But as you said, it's a black samurai. It's okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's based on a real character. This came out. No, this says 2020. Okay, not 2020.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I was actually looking at some comics today on the Kindle, and I saw this popped up. I saw the sample. I was like, well, look, how much is it? I think it was like $9. I was like, well, it wasn't. No, it's that $3, $2.99. So I was really shocked because it's like I think 74 pages.
How many issues do they got?
I think it's just the one.
Oh,
it's,
wow.
it's a story about him. This, but I guess they got some fictional stuff going on, some supernatural stuff going on. Because I don't think they were actually like monsters and dragons and stuff.
Oh, so you're saying this is supposed to be based on a real person?
Well, it is.
Was it black samurai?
Yeah, there was an actual black
Oh,
samurai. Yeah, name Yasuki. Yeah, it was really interesting. Okay. Yeah, but Nobunaga. I think the legend, the guy he was a ruler of Japan at the time, and he supposedly defeated an army of like 10,000 people with like a very small army. And so the legend was that there was some supernatural stuff going on, but nobody's alive from when that actually happened. So we don't know if there were actually demons and monsters running around and helping Nobunaga out. Anyway, the second thing for show and tell. This is called the Steam Deck.
This is like something like brand new type of thing?
Mm-hmm. I think this has been on the market officially since like beginning of this year. Officially.
Oh, so it's new?
Yeah. It's new. I waited like 6 months to get this. I waited like 6 months. I mean, there's some people that have been waiting longer than that because of because of the C word that's been going on. There's been like a lot of like shortages in chips. People working at home, all kinds of problems. But if you play games on your PC, you're either using Valve Steam, which is, Valve is the name of the company that makes the Steam Deck, and Valve service is called Steam. So you think of Steam as like Nintendo or Xbox or Sony, PlayStation, but on your PC.
Okay.
So the cool thing about playing on PC is like if you don't have to pay for monthly service online, for one thing. Like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, they charge you a monthly fee just to play online, which is like, I think it should go away. On your PC, you can literally find any video game you can think about. You can find it online. Yeah, I mean, that's the amazing thing about PCs. There's programs called emulators, which is another reason why people like this thing, because the emulator just it's a program that tricks the machine into acting like the console. So like say you want to play GameCube games on your computer, you download the emulator, and the emulator makes the machine act like a GameCube, and it can play those titles.
Oh, that's cool. And so any game, Sega, any like old games too?
Yeah. That's what it's mostly for, because what happened was the gaming companies, like Nintendo likes to make you buy games over again. Mm-hmm. So like the game Mario came out for the Wii U, and you bought a Nintendo Switch. You can't just port your Mario game over to your Switch. You gotta buy that Mario game again.
Gotcha.
You know, I mean, I think going forward they're going to start changing that because Microsoft took a big stance in backwards compatibility. I can play my old Xbox games on my new Xbox. You know, that was I actually think that saved Microsoft.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that that's safe. But the emulating it's legal, and it's you know the companies can't really do anything about it, and it's good for collectors because say you are trying to find a game and online that game is like $5,000. You can find the emulator, you can just download the game and play it. I mean, you're not paying for it, so I mean, I guess there's that, the slippery slope. But but it's the same thing I guess with a movie. If you already have the disc or you own the movie digitally or whatever, if you download it off the internet for free somewhere, it's not illegal because you already own it. So this is one of those weird things.
Gotcha.
And this is a pretty powerful machine though. I mean, they're like three different models. There's a low end model that only has 64 gigs of memory, which is just awful. You can't do nothing with 64 gigs. Call of Duty is like 150 gigs. So then there's how much is the other one? I mean, there's 64 gigs. I think there's 256 gig model, and then there's a 512 model, which is like $630. The 64 gig model is $399. The 256 is $400, I believe, and this one, like I said, is $630. Came with like $700 or so when they added taxes. Then I bought this case, which was like another $15 and $20. The low end model, it's got like a slower. It's something with the processor, slower downloading or something. It's got a micro SD card, so you can always upgrade the storage if you want. But PCs, I think it's amazing that people spend so much money on Xboxes and PlayStations and Nintendos. I guess it's convenient. With PC, you got to tinker with it, and you know, to get the performance or whatever. It requires you to be a little bit more technically savvy.
Let me ask you a question. So if you could think of, because you seem like you really like that, if you could think of any disadvantages of that product, what would you say that, you know?
Well, I would have to say the battery life, because the battery life is all. The battery life on gaming PCs, period, is usually shitty.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. You usually get like an hour and a half at the most with most gaming PCs, even the ones that are really super expensive.
You said it's usually shitty. Why? Why do you think that, or why is that specifically with this? Why is the battery life not so good?
I think just with like gaming PCs, they're assuming that you're always going to be near a socket.
Oh, okay.
And maybe that's the trade-off. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, then maybe there could be a logistical reason why the battery life is so bad. I mean, that's always a problem with gaming PCs. Even the high-end gaming PCs, the battery life is awful. Yeah, and then you have the heat. These things always have these, they call them heat sinks that they put inside. This thing gets really hot. Gaming PCs get really hot. They call them laptops, but you won't be having any kids. You're not going to be having any kids if you sit those things in your lap for a long time because they really get hot. Yeah. That's it. But I mean, I think it's really the battery life. That's the only thing they need to improve. And the UI, but this is relatively new. They are still literally, as we speak, making updates and fixing things. They listen to the community and making changes. And you can install Windows on this. This is a PC, literally a PC in the form factor of a handheld console.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can do a lot with it. I mean, the fact that you can install Windows on it is amazing.
Yeah.
But it takes a little bit of tinkering, and I'm not going to do it. I mean, I may do it later. What they need to do is just have an app, a Windows app. I mean, they have the Chrome, the Google Chrome app. It works. They have it. I mean, I think it's great because that means I can watch YouTube. I can go to Google Chrome, open up Netflix, open up Amazon, and so there's a lot, but you got to be near a battery, a power source. I may have to get a battery pack at some point. They have a dock. You want to hook it up to your TV, but you don't have to get the dock because the dock is like $90. It's expensive. You just get a little adapter and just run it to your TV.
So then if you're on a plane flight or something like that, that probably wouldn't be the best thing to bring. Right?
I mean, it would be a what's the word I'm looking for? It would be complementing something. You would need something else. I mean, because you're only going to get like an hour. You're going to probably get at the most an hour and a half
Okay, so you would obviously, if you went on a plane flight, a long plane flight, especially, you would bring that. If you wanted to bring that, you're gonna probably bring what, your Nintendo Switch or something like that.
Yeah, I would have my tablet. You know, I'll play this a little bit, then watch a movie, listen to some music. Probably bring the Switch too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm happy with my purchase. You know, I can't wait to see what they do with it. I'm looking forward to see because they're constantly like adding things and fixing things and doing updates.
And if they improve the battery, like what does that mean? That they'll give you another battery that's better than the other battery? Is that what that?
The cool thing about this is they made it where it's very easy to open up.
Okay.
Because I mean, I've been playing PC games. I mean, I bought my first gaming PC. I think I got it. I feel like I got it right before maybe 2019. I think right before the whole the C word became a thing. And I learned a lot about. See, when you have a gaming PC, it's almost like it's a different lifestyle. Like when your PC breaks down, like for me, when my PC broke down, I had to call a person to come and fix it a few times. But I paid attention, and I started learning. So when my PC breaks down now, I can open it and fix it myself. And this is very much like a PC. So most PC gamers, I would go out on a limb and say most of us know how to troubleshoot our own devices. So they made this very accessible. So it's conceivable that within the next 6 months, they may actually have another battery that you can take you could take that one out and put the other battery in there. I mean, unlike my phone, I don't think that this phone, my old phone, actually I could take the battery out and replace it. This phone, I hate that they do that because it makes you have to buy another phone at some point because the battery's gonna die eventually. Yeah, but you can open up a lot of all the PCs. Laptops are just recently getting to the point. I mean, I think within the last few years, because most laptops before about 4 years ago, you couldn't really open them up and fix them.
Oh.
Yeah, but they just started making them more and more. Maybe over the last 4 or 6 years. So my other show and tell thing here is more like, I don't know if it's a toy, if you would call it a toy, or more like an actual
bobblehead.
It's not a bobblehead, it's a pop.
That's a bobblehead.
No, pop doesn't make bobbleheads. That's a totally different.
It head don't bobble.
No,
it's head bobbles.
Not really.
It's
That's a different
That's a
product.
bobblehead.
But anyway, the character here his name is Namor, Submariner. For all those that don't know, Namor is going to be featured in the next Black Panther movie, which I think is incredible. It's awesome. I love Submariner is probably my favorite Marvel character. You want to know why? Well, I mean, he's a mutant. He's got little wings on his feet. He can fly, and he's from Atlantis.
Okay.
Atlantis?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Namor.
Okay, what do you know about Namor?
What you just said, I know that. I know he was like probably one of the first mutants, and definitely one of the first Marvel characters. Mm-hmm. He's old school. He's older than Aquaman. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm actually excited about him. They're putting him in the Black Panther. I'm interested in seeing how they're going to do it. I have a feeling though they're going to make him. He's going to eventually be. He's supposed to be the villain in this, but I don't think that's going to last. He's going to be a new Avenger eventually.
Well, Namor is a complicated character. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've read.
He's kind of an anti-hero.
Yeah. So he's he kind of flip flops. I mean, sometimes he's trying to kill everybody because he's got a thing with the surface world. Throwing the pollution in the water and all that. He's got like a mental issue too. When he's out of the water for a long time, apparently something happens to his brain, to the oxygen or something. It makes him like grouchy.
That's cool.
You think that's cool?
Yeah, that's cool for the fucking movie. Like, so when it goes down, like that's like a cool thing right there.
It's kind of he needs to take medication for that, man. I mean, it's kind of if you can lift 100 tons and you having mood swings like that, it's kind of like a problem.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that explains a lot because I'm not super familiar with Namor like you are, so that actually makes me more excited about him being the villain if they incorporate that in the Black Panther movie.
He may start out being the villain because I don't know if you remember in Avengers Endgame, you remember they subtly mentioned.
Yeah, they're like there's an earthquake on the ground. That's how
we handle it by not handling it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wonder why she said that.
Well, and obviously that was a precursor to this.
Something happened in the 5 years that T'Challa was dead.
They've probably been beefing for years.
Maybe they will have. I guess they'll tell the story of what happened in the 5 years that T'Challa was dead because when Thanos snapped everybody into.
Oh, I didn't ever consider that. That's a good point.
Yeah. This happened apparently when everybody was dead because they were still trying to pick up the pieces and find Thanos and try to figure out a way to reverse everything. Remember?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And I still hate that Natasha died and everything. It was so sad. They couldn't bring her back.
She had to go.
They couldn't bring, the new Black Widow. Is she White Widow now, right? Is she White Widow, the other girl, right?
Her sister.
Yeah. You seen
I think they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna. I guess they're gonna call her that eventually.
White Widow, right?
I mean, she was in Hawkeye.
Well, she's gonna have her own team, the Thunderbolts.
Is she part of that?
Yeah, she's the leader, I guess.
Okay.
She's the Captain America kind of character that everybody just kind of follows. She's the Batman stealth character who can kick ass even though she don't really have flashy powers like everybody else.
Okay.
But the Black Widows, they do kind of have, they're basically super soldiers. Really, they just age slowly. They age slowly, But yeah, Submariner he's a powerful character, interesting. He is very strong. He's bulletproof. He swims in the water. He breathes in the water. And the longer he's out of water, apparently his strength will subside. Unlike Aquaman, because in Aquaman they were out in the desert and he didn't have a problem at all. Didn't have a problem. But I guess Namor's strength will eventually become human's level if he's out of the water long enough. And if he's dehydrated, then you just die. Because I remember the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends episode when he jumped in the pool and then he got out. I was like alcohol, with alcohol in the pool. He's like, oh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and there was an episode with Namor, Doctor Strange. They were all trapped somewhere. They had to get out. And there was a bad guy that had them trapped. Yeah, it was Doctor Doom. Yeah, Namor jumped in the swimming pool. He was all dehydrated because of alcohol. But anyway, this guy's actually able to go toe to toe with the Incredible Hulk. That's how strong he is. In the water, he's able to well, you saw how Aquaman was swimming in the movie, right? He's just he's moving at super speed. When he was fighting Iron Man, he practically disappeared. Iron Man was what the, he was just, and he was behind him, and he just took his helmet off and grabbed him up by the neck. And Doctor Strange was like, we must not fight amongst each other. We must stop. And he did blast them both apart, or whatever. I mean, yeah, he just took Iron Man's helmet off. I was like, what the heck? But the guy's in the water. He's
Yeah, that's his element.
His strength level is probably 100 tons plus in the water. Now, when he's out of water, you're talking about maybe 50, 60 tons. But I mean, that's still, strong enough. When he fought Wolverine, he broke every bone in his body. He shattered every bone in his body.
Wolverine?
Wolverine was
how long he took to heal back from that?
And Wolverine, Professor Xavier is you have Wolverine, you need to relax because your brain is still messed up. It hasn't completely healed completely.
He fucked his brain up too?
Yeah, from the impact, because he grabbed him and just slammed him on the ground. And yeah, it was pretty brutal. And when he fought Venom, Venom sprayed some crap on him that just messed him up and disintegrated his wing, one of his wings, two of his wings, and he grabbed Venom and ripped his tongue out. And it was pretty brutal.
It's the comic, right?
In the comic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Yeah, Namor ain't no joke. He's I like the character.
Well, because he don't look like nothing, so I guess they gotta make him look like something.
Well, he is something.
No, the point I'm making is that if you look at this dude, see, for instance, on this cover, he obviously he look mean, right? You gotta make him look mean because if he didn't look mean, if he was smiling, this look like Icarus or something. Who is this? If you weren't familiar with how tough he is, you'd be like, this dude is a clown.
And the little wings, in the trailer, the wings are
anybody with wings on their feet, I'm not really taking them seriously. I don't care how much you can fly. You can
But that's the X gene. I think that's the X gene, really. I think because if
so
he
the
didn't
wings make him fly.
Yeah, he flies. Yeah, he's able. Yeah, if you see the trailer, he's flying. They look like little hummingbird wings when they fly. Because I don't know how I feel about that because I don't know. I guess realistically speaking, it seems like they would be they really would. You know how when you see hummingbirds wings, you don't even see them. It's just they're moving so fast. You just see it should be like that, but they just look this making this sound, and it looks kind of. I just thought it looked kind of fake, but I don't know.
Are the wings gonna be in the?
They got to. That's a mutation.
Do they have wings? Have you seen the trailer?
In the trailer. If you see the Kevin Grievous and some other, I saw Kevin Grievous have because for a while there were images of him online, but they were kind of blurred. You couldn't really get a clear. They were trying to make be all mysterious about it. But the Kevin Grievous had a complete image of him. And I was really shocked that they kept the wings, but they're going with the Aztec thing. And they cast the guy, I think the guy that is playing him is Mexican. So it's interesting that they're going that route. And they may not even call it Atlantis, they may call it something else. But every culture has stories about an underwater city you know, they just call it something. Because even in if you, I don't know, the old, there was one Godzilla movie where they talked about some under place, and they said this is Atlantis. It's like Atlantis. It's just another word for Atlantis. I think it was Godzilla versus Megalon or something. It's undersea place, advanced technology and all this crap. But yeah, he's got I don't know if he's got a magical thing, because Aquaman's got like some magical stuff going on. I think the trident belonged to Poseidon or something, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what the deal is with Namor's trident, but I know there are gonna be similarities, and for people that don't know, he was out first. Submariner, Namor was first, so
Marvel Aquaman.
Yeah, Marvel has not copied. It's just that they took longer because of the rights. Universal owns the rights to Namor. I don't know how that happened.
Do they?
Yeah.
Still?
Universal,
That's when Marvel was selling all his rights.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were desperate to get these movies made, and they did the Doctor Strange movie, and then they did the Spider-Man, which was it was so bad. The women looked all fake and everything.
Oh, the old ones.
And he's climbing on the walls like this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the 80s was not ready for Marvel.
And Captain America throwing his shield, it looked like a salad bowl. It was like floating all in the.
That's when he had that motorcycle, right?
Yeah, it was rare.
All that looked crazy.
Yeah, the costume looked. They did one in the '90s that actually was decent.
Oh yeah,
But the Fantastic Four movie was kind of bad.
Yeah,
It was about
never seen it.
It was about Roger Corman, who used to do all those horror movies back in the '60s.
I know the previews look bad.
Yeah, but they released it later. I mean, I like the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four movies. I thought those were okay.
I didn't think they were that bad.
But the one with Michael B. Jordan,
I didn't still have to see it.
Yeah,
I want to see it because I have a tendency. I like to make sure I watch all the movies. That's like one of the ones I wasn't too.
The first half of the movie, and other people have said this. The first half of the movie is actually pretty good, but then the second half is like somebody else wrote it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just totally different. It just goes down from like the. And people said, look, they ran out of money or something. The special effects were just. I mean, when Michael B. Jordan was flying around as Human Torch, it just looked so bad. It looked like Killer Instinct graphics from the video game. Yeah,
I'm just happy that they're back in the MCU. I know a lot of people have made fun of how, like, I don't know, some people didn't like Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange is dope personally. And finally getting, your boy who played Mr. Fantastic, I think that was dope. I mean, he got murdered hella quick. Like,
Professor Xavier, like, okay, really? She defeated him on the astral plane? Really? And then,
I was thinking about that the other day, about the Professor X part. It was so cool seeing him, but I feel like it was kind of a wasted opportunity.
She shouldn't be able to defeat him because she's not telepathic.
She whooped that
It's
ass.
magic. I mean, but Fantastic Four will probably be. I mean, he's one of their villains actually, and Black Panther too. Black Panther. I think he was introduced in Fantastic Four. I can't remember everything correctly, but I think he was a homeless guy walking around the streets, and I think he had a mustache, and the Human Torch burned his mustache away, and you saw it was. Yeah, but he's got a thing going on with Sue Storm. He's always trying to get with Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Get that gonna get out of there.
Yeah, and then then they did the thing with Wakanda in the comics. He got possessed by the Phoenix Force, and he went to get the Avengers who were in Wakanda at the time, and caused this huge flood. And so T'Challa waged war against him and just vowed to kill him. And I think he did actually kill him. I know his head got cut off at one point.
Namor's?
Yes. And somehow he came back to life again. Yeah, so I was trying to keep up with all the stuff that was going on, but they did the whole thing with Storm, Black Panther and Storm.
I noticed there's one item that you didn't get to here, this controller.
Oh, sorry. The controller was I said 3 things, but I guess technically it's 4. But this is the controller that I use with this. And now you're supposed to be able to use Bluetooth controllers with this, but since Stadia didn't activate, I don't think they activated the Bluetooth feature yet. It was one of their promises. They never really came through, I think. But you can connect it with the USB-C. So I was gonna buy a green Xbox controller to use with this, but this is close enough. I mean, it's wasabi. It's green, isn't it? I mean, wasabi is green. It's pea green.
I mean, that's your favorite color, right? Green?
Yeah. Pea soup. So it works with this. I don't know if you don't know Stadia, the history with Stadia. This was Stadia wanted to come out with a video game service, but their service would be cloud-based. So you play the games, but you don't download the games. They come through the cloud. So like you're watching a movie on Netflix, it's the same thing. You're streaming the games. So once your internet connection is gone, you can't access the games. It's the only thing I didn't like about it. If you could download the games, because Xbox lets you stream the games, and you can have the option to download, and Sony does the same thing. Sony was doing streaming technology for at least probably 10 or 15 years ago. But I mean, it didn't really blow up until like recently. But yeah, Sony had this service called PlayStation Now, and you could stream a lot of your games. I used to play them at work. I used to play games.
How long ago did they do that? How long ago was it?
I would say maybe a good 15, 12 years.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, your PlayStation Now. And you pay like a subscription to be able to access. If supposedly the PlayStation 3, it couldn't emulate or play it couldn't play the PlayStation 2 games and PlayStation 1 games. I think that was false. I think that they just want to force people to get this service to play those games instead of just putting that feature in there. But that's like a whole nother conversation. But the controller, Stadia was a good idea, but it only lasted like 2 years. And they announced like just last week that they're shutting the service down in January.
But now who's the company?
Google. Oh, Google. Yeah, Google Stadia. Yeah, they're shutting down this service as of the 23rd. So everybody that bought, got the subscription, they're gonna give everybody a refund.
Oh, get your money back.
Yeah, I'm gonna give my money back. Yeah, but the cool thing is I can continue to use this controller.
You get to keep the remote.
Yeah. I mean, it just came with a Chrome. What do they call it? A Chromecast. It looks like a little Fire Stick. You connect to your TV, and then it just connects. Lets you stream everything. I mean, it's a bummer. I bought a few games. Then maybe people out there that probably bought maybe more than a few games. Really try to support the service. It's unfortunate the technology may have been ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like that about VR. I think VR will eventually become a thing, but it's just most people don't really care about it. But Sony's putting a lot of money into VR. I mean, PlayStation 5, they come out with a new VR next year, and it's just going to be amazing. But I mean, I don't care much about VR. I don't care much about 3D. But I mean, God bless it. It takes off eventually when it gets to the point. So yeah, this is a pretty capable controller. I mean, I hate the fact that but I'll use this with my Stadia whenever I get my converter for this. I can hook it up to my TV and just use it. It's just right now, I don't think the Bluetooth feature works. I don't think they ever activate it. So sometimes I use my PlayStation controller, my Xbox controller. So I may eventually cave in and get another, like a real green controller. But I don't like the fact that the controllers are expensive. The Xbox controllers that are green, it's like $69. So it's a lot.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is Show and Tell by Sergio Willis.
It's a lot of money, man. I just
hook you up.
It's a lot of
No
money.
promos.
You gotta save money, man. $73 for a controller, doesn't that seem like a lot?
Yeah, my favorite price is free.
'Cause I remember when controllers used to be $35, and I thought that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, just saying. But I got my little stand. This thing is like $15. But I don't think I said anything about the case. The case is I think it's like $15, and it lets you stand it up. So the cool thing about this is that I get I can get like more freedom. Thank God they didn't put the damn charger thing on the bottom like the Switch, because
I don't know. Tell me.
Well, I mean, if the charger, how would I keep it plugged in if the charger was on the bottom? The cord wouldn't even be able to you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find a way.
Well, you would have to get something that has a dongle, or maybe, because they have a dock. The dock is like $90. They have an official dock. It's like $90 though. I mean, the dock is good and it works, but you're forcing people to buy this adapter to plug into the wall. This already comes with the adapter, the power adapter. So they need to, once they give the option to not get the adapter with it, it'll probably cut the price in half, and then I may consider getting one. But I'm gonna have to take this off if I use the dock, so that's the downside. Yeah, it was tricky getting this thing on. So because of the way that this case is made, this cover, it won't fit in the dock. It won't slide in. So I'll have to take it off. So that's why I just got this, and I got I ordered the adapter, which Amazon lost somehow, but Yeah, I think, I think this may eventually end up